This just in, Victor Lane is going to interview, oh my God, he's going to interview Francesco. Keep watching.
Hi, this is Victor back at Chicago Comic-Con, and we are here with Francesco. Francesco has done almost everything. He's worked for DC, he's worked for Marvel, he's worked for several independent companies. He now owns his own company, which is called Fresco Comics. And how you doing there today?
I'm doing great. Hey, hi, Mom and Dad.
Mom and Dad. And he also lives right here in the Chicagoland area, so he loves doing these conventions, don't you?
Oh, the Windy City's the best. Let's face it. I go to shows all across the country, you know, from sea to shiny sea, you know, and here I am in Chicago. The second, well, as far as I'm concerned, the biggest and the best show in the country, because let's face it, it's the first show I ever attended as a fan. I didn't even know there were conventions, and it turns out that a friend of mine at a comic book shop's like, well, are you going to go to the Chicago Con? And I had no concept of what the word even meant, so I was just like, well, wait a minute. Chicago Comic-Con is what now? You know, and he's like, well, it's a show, you know, comic books, you know, artists, blah, blah, blah. Just like, I don't know. I had no idea what I was going to expect, really. I kind of knew, but I didn't know what I was in for, and it was a great experience, to say the least. I was so excited by the whole idea of meeting people that I've been enjoying their work for like years and years and years. Idols of mine just sitting there, you know, I mean, right there, you know, I was like speechless. I was just so excited to be able to be in a place where I could not be concerned about enjoying what it is that I was doing.
And now you're on the other side of the table, and all your fans are coming up to you and going, oh my God, he's drawn the X-Men, he's drawn everybody. You've done conglomeration posters for businesses, for newspapers. You've got your own artwork here of your own characters and of other characters as well. Tell us a little bit about your newest character, which is Ecstasy.
Well, Ecstasy happens to be something that I really have a passion for. She's a character that I created a few years back, and in my relatively short career, I've had the luxury of co-creating. We can't deny the fact that writers in comics are very crucial and play a very important role. And what happens is the writer would come up with a concept, and there were no visuals to go with that. It's not like, here, draw a Spider-Man story, and okay, fine, you sit there and draw Spider-Man. When you have to draw a blank man, whatever, it's like you don't know what he looks like, so you have to come up with a character before you can even draw the story. Well, it turns out that I had the luxury of doing that from one company to another to another. Sergio,
oh, hey!
Excellent. Hey, Sergio Aragones, ladies and gentlemen. Oh.
Sergio Aragones.
Sergio, thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll be over in a few minutes. Okay? No, please. No, I can't. I'll be back later. Oh, Sergio, thank you, sir.
This is great. And Sergio has just drawn a picture of Ecstasy with the fan followers here.
Excellent.
Yeah, this is great.
I love it.
We'll also be talking to Sergio a little bit later on in the show.
What a segue.
Yeah, this is cool.
It was not scripted.
It was not scripted.
Oh, that is good. Okay. All right. Okay, now what happens is I had a chance, the luxury of co-creating characters for some companies, like a whole universe practically, you know, character after character after character. And I decided, well, what? I'm doing it for all these other companies, and that's fine and good. But I figured eventually I want to do my own thing, and Ecstasy is that expression. It's the ability to take ideas that I've had and bring them to real life, basically. I mean, they're two-dimensional. They're on comic book right now. I'm not going to say anything more, but sometime in the near future, she's the next big thing. I'll tell you that.
All right. Can you tell us what her powers are, what she does?
I can tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. It's a secret.
Ooh.
No. Her powers are the ability to teleport, and she can teleport from like one place to another. And instead of going, if you and I have to go upstairs, we have to walk up the stairs. She would just instantly go upstairs. She is a traveler, and the very first series that she will be featured in, she's actually going to be cast in, well, let me backtrack a little bit. The very first time that Ecstasy actually appeared is in the first look. And in the first look, she receives an amulet, and the amulet actually supercharges her abilities to the point where instead of going from here to there, she's going from one universe to another. And the beautiful thing about this is I get to explore all the wonderful things about comics, not just superheroes. We get to see horror comics, we get to see manga, we get to see action adventure, all genres that you could probably imagine. I'm going to try to fit in there because let's face it, comics has something for everybody.
So this could be a conglomeration of your own created universes and possibly other universes that already exist?
Absolutely, absolutely. See, that's what's wonderful about comics. It's just chock full of really wonderful people. I mean, the creators I've had the pleasure of meeting over the years have been very supportive, very encouraging, and very instrumental in me being where I am today. It's definitely not a one-man show. I couldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for these talented artists who would give me advice as to how to improve my portfolio, what to do, what to put in the portfolio, right. All sorts of things. So I'm so amazed at how thoughtful, generous, and giving some of these creators can really be. And they allowed me the luxury of having their characters, their babies in essence, appear in the pages of Ecstasy. So it's going to be a big fun ride.
That's great. When are the issues going to be available on the market?
Well, I really don't want to tie myself to a date because the last thing I want to do is give people, I would hate to give people the impression that the book is going to be late, and I want to be able to get all my ducks in a row, if you will,
sure.
And then release her because I choose not to fall into a trap where I would have to sacrifice the quality, and that's never going to happen. Fresco Comics means quality to me. Expect the very best, and I won't settle for anything less.
That's terrific. So the books themselves, they're going to be black and white?
Black and white, and one of the things that I find is I thought there might be some negative reaction to that, but most people really enjoy looking at my artwork in black and white.
Sure.
I personally believe that color enhances my work, but being in black and white does not at all detract from the actual beauty of the piece.
And there's a lot of black and white books on the market that people get into as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's nice to see the reaction from the fans.
Sure.
Let's face it, it's part of it is a selfish endeavor on my part because, you know, I'm doing this because I like to do it and I do it for myself, but I also like to share it with the people out there, and to see their reaction, their positive reaction, is just phenomenal to me.
Yeah. And overwhelming, I'm sure.
If I can, Victor, I want to take the time to thank all those wonderful people at conventions who supported this project. I mean, this project did not exist until very recently in actual form, you know, like a comic book. Everyone's seen a comic book. But I would attend conventions after I knew this is what I wanted to do.
Right.
And I would let the fans know that, you know, they're curious, so what will you be doing next? And I would tell them. And they supported me, and not just by saying, hey, I'll be there. They supported me by, you know, really getting in there and saying, no, I want one. As soon as it's ready, mail it to me. They would give me their address, that kind of thing.
Sure.
Before the book even existed, they supported me on this, and I will be forever grateful for that. The best fans, I swear to God.
Yeah. And the character looks great.
Why, thank you.
The art, of course, is excellent. You've done all kinds of stuff in the comic book industry. Been around for a while. You've done the new character from Green Lantern, Adam, who we haven't seen much of, but the Green Lantern Corps is kind of broken up. So right now, so we might see a little bit of him in the future, possibly.
It's possible. Let's face it. In comics, nothing is forever. Even if you're dead, you could always come back.
Look at me.
Look at you.
I knew I'd get him on that.
Okay, we're going to wrap up with the fact that there's this story. I tried to get a hold of this guy, and
last year
that was the easiest thing to do. And I call information because my studio is like this paper avalanche, and it turns out that I go, forget it. I'm never going to find a piece of paper. So I call information and I get the number, and it's just like I call it up, and it's just like, Vic, oh no, he passed. He's passed. I was just like, what do you mean I was like, oh my God, he's dead. My buddy's dead. I can't believe this. And I was just like, oh no. So last year at the show, who comes walking by my table.
I showed up, and this man here, I don't know whether he was turning, like he's seen a dead man.
Yeah, it was funny, and he came back to life. Yeah, and here he is in full color. Okay.
And here we are, and we are at the Chicago Comic-Con.
Woohoo!
We are the last day. It's Sunday. We've got lots more to come still, and we'll see you real soon. Back to you, Larry.